Hi, it's Wendy Hernandez with Command the Courtroom. So in this week's video, I want to talk with you about a situation where the circumstances in your case change significantly as you're going through the case, and as a result, you want to change what it is that you originally asked the court for. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. In one of the cases I have right now, going into the lawsuit, my client knew that he wanted to ask for sole decision making, or sole custody, and that he also wanted to limit his soon-to-be ex's time. And the reason he was asking for these things was because he is strongly convinced that his soon-to-be ex-wife has serious mental health issues that are not untreated. And as I've mentioned in some of my past videos, there's nothing wrong with having mental health issues, but when you're going through a custody case, it's important to make sure that you're getting the treatment that you need and that you're following those treatment plans. But in this particular case that I have, my client's soon-to-be ex-wife he believes, has mental health issues for years, and because she hadn't been treating them, she was placing the children in dangerous situations. She was negligent in terms of how she was paying attention to them, or the attention that she was giving to them, and that in many situations she was actually reckless with her conduct. And because of this, he felt that the children, when they are with her, are in danger of harm or serious physical injury. So going into the case, he wanted to limit her parenting time. So we've been going through this case for about a year now. And one of the things that the court ordered, first off, was that the parties meet with what's called a court-appointed advisor in Arizona. So court-appointed advisor is just kind of a researcher and an investigator, and they look into allegations. So what this court-appointed advisor was looking for was information about the allegations of mental health conditions that my client was stating existed, and also there had been some domestic violence perpetrated against my client by his soon-to-be ex-wife. So the court-appointed advisor looked at this stuff, and she issued a report recommending that the soon-to-be ex-wife submit to a mental health evaluation. Well, soon-to-be ex-wife didn't do this. We got to the time of trial. She didn't do the mental health evaluation. And what ended up happening is we didn't have the trial, but the court talked a lot to the parties, and wife ended up agreeing to do a mental health evaluation. So after trial, after the trial setting, because we didn't have the trial, wife went to a mutually agreed upon doctor to perform the mental health evaluation. And one of the requirements of our trial judge, was that mom provide that first report, that court-appointed advisor's report, to the doctor who was going to do the mental health evaluation. Well, wife did not provide that report. And what ended up happening was the doctor initially issued an opinion saying that wife didn't have any significant mental health conditions and that she wasn't a danger to herself or to her children or to others, and that was that. But then it was learned that wife didn't provide that report as ordered by the court. So she ended up having to provide that court-appointed advisor's report to the doctor so he could revise his opinion. Once he saw that report, he was really upset because he felt like he was manipulated by wife and her failure to disclose this report as ordered by the court. And upon reviewing the court-appointed advisor's report, the doctor changed his opinion, and he felt that there was a strong possibility wife could be suffering from untreated bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. And he recommended a variety of things. One of them was possibly supervised visitation and or discontinuing wife's parenting time until she got a forensic psychological or psychiatric evaluation. But that wasn't the end of the road. One of the other things the court had ordered at the trial setting was that after wife submitted to the mental health evaluation, that the parties would meet with what's called a parenting conference provider in Arizona. And the job of a parenting conference provider is to just provide more information to the court on the issues in the case, on the best interest factors, and the parties' positions. So upon reviewing the court-appointed advisor's report and the doctor's report, and talking with mother and mother's failure to be upfront with the parenting conference provider, the parenting conference provider also felt that mother was possibly suffering from a significant untreated mental health condition. And this parenting conference provider is also a mental health professional. So here we sit, we're still going through the case, and we have 3 opinions from 3 different professionals. And these opinions are that mother could be a danger. And actually 2 of the opinions are that maybe mother's parenting time should be supervised or suspended. So originally my client was asking that mother's time just be limited to every other weekend. Now he's changed his position and he's wanting supervised time in accordance with the doctor's reports. So remember, as you go through your case, you may learn information that changes your position. And the safest way to handle this is to put everybody on notice, the court and the other party and the other attorney, that you're changing positions. The safest way to do this is to amend your initial pleadings, whatever it is that you initially filed, whether it was a petition for dissolution or a petition to establish child custody, whatever it was. The safest bet is to go back and change those. So I can't speak to the rules in your jurisdiction, because if you're in a different state than Arizona, those rules are going to be different than the Arizona rules of civil procedure. But what I'm telling you is that if you've changed your position, I want you to Google amendment of pleadings and look for the rules in your state, the rules of civil procedure or the rules of family law civil procedure in your state as they relate to the amendment of pleadings, and follow those rules. Because if you don't put everybody on notice that you've changed position, there is a possibility that the court could say, hey, I'm not going to let you maintain this position at trial or for the rest of this lawsuit because you didn't put everybody on notice. One thing is, though, the court always has to keep in mind the best interests of the children. So like in my case, you have 3 mental health professionals who are saying, equal parenting time is not in the best interest of the children. I don't see this as being a situation where the judge is going to ignore those opinions because my client hasn't necessarily done a motion to amend his initial petition for dissolution or his response to petition for dissolution. But I don't know in your case. I don't know your judge. I don't know your state's rules. So your safest bet, if you're changing your position on a big issue in your case, whether it's child support, child custody, or parenting time, if you've changed the position, go back and change whatever the initial filing was that you made or the response to the initial filing. I hope this makes sense. I just don't want you to get caught in a situation where you can't make the argument that you want to make because you haven't followed the rules. So remember, if you haven't already liked Command the Courtroom on Facebook, go there now and like us. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. If you subscribe, you're going to get an updated video every single week. I release them. And also, if you haven't downloaded my best interest checklist, go to commandthecourtroom.com and sign up for the checklist. And along with the checklist, you're going to get notified when I release my video every week, and you're going to get notified when I have special things going on, which happens from time to time. So I'm Wendy Hernandez. Until next week, keep on trucking and remember to command the courtroom.